Aaron next. I don't know how long we have you, Aaron. I appreciate you hopping in here.
Yeah, no, Aaron's fine. Yeah, we'll hit on D-Work afterwards. Go ahead, Aaron. Thank you for being here.
For me, it was great, even just listening for you, because the real life issues that you stumble upon, these are the problems that we wish to provide some kind of solution, some complementary platforms that can answer those needs that Discord and Google Doc and GitHub does not. So I hope it can integrate into your work as well. Just for framing, the platform, we are just started to build it. We have been funded in Fund 7, and I hope that later this year we will launch some MVP and we can invite you to start using it. But it may be premature, but I wish to show you some very basic demo just for you to know what we are working on. For you not to work on parallel or something too similar and not to waste too much energy, but also maybe also because we have a specific proposal, some modest budgeted proposal for the CA challenge, and maybe also it's an opportunity for you to look at it and see if it worth your voting. So can I share the screen? Just start demo.
Depending on your system, you might have to change your system preferences. Oh, you're good. What's up?
Yeah, yes, it's fine. And some of you know the forum. Maybe some of you seen it for the first time. So the idea is to create a platform for creating agreements to reduce drastically the noise to a signal ratio. In ways that we can discuss in an open and wide and decentralized, without permission, without censorship, in a large group of people, but to produce an agreement as well, not just to discuss, not just like an endless thread of comments, but also to create together a document that can be edited by the participant. So I will start from just the draft page, the document page. Again, this is work in progress. What you see, it's a very rough sketches. The design for sure will change until the product, but the main idea, I think, the main process, the main flow won't change too much, I assume. So you can see here some kind of DAO that I invent for this demonstration, and they decided to establish a console. And I took some ideas like from the circle, from the Catalyst circle definition document, and put it here just for the example. So you can see this is the agreement. You can see here it can be part of many groups, many DAOs or many communities. There are channels. There are different agreements, different documents in different stages, and this is a document. What we are seeing now in this document, in this draft, are sections that are already being discussed and approved. In this page, this is what you see. Those are the agreement in the current time, like a snapshot of the agreement of the community at the present time. Now, if I will go for this section that suggests that elected member will serve 3 weeks term, okay. And I will go from here. I can see that there are already a few suggested improvement suggestions. There is one improvement suggestion for this proposal. You can still see my screen.
Yep.
Okay. So I can browse and to see first of all, you can see the comment section. The comment is attributed to the section itself. And if I will go to the suggestion, I will see this member suggests to change from weeks to month. That's all. I can change the view for more convenient viewpoint, and I can vote as a first step. And we encourage voting in this platform because voting is a way to express opinion without creating noise. You can use the output of this action and integrate it into the creation of the agreement, without adding more noise that needed more eyes on it. So every time a user vote for, this bar is getting larger, and if it will reach this point, then the status of this will change from suggestion into the current version. So you can see now, let's say more user has been joined the conversation, joined the process. Now I will add the last vote, the last pro vote. It became the current version, and when I will go back to the agreement, to the document, I will see that the weeks has been changed from weeks to months. So we will, of course, will add some more versions pages, so you can track the different changes that the document has been through. But at any point in time, here you can see the activity page. You can vote from the activity page. You can go see the document, the whole document process. You can vote from here as well. You can see other sections. And the main point is that we can discuss, we can express our opinion, we can add more knowledge to the process, but as long as we don't have the numbers, then we do not really impact the product. And eventually, the idea is that every group and every subgroup and every DAO, and in our case, in the Catalyst community, our proposal is to create a joint drafting of guidelines for the CA. It can be made together and create a library of agreements. So a document like this Dropbox, that as far as I know, you're still using it. Is it relevant, this document?
Yeah.
You know? So imagine a document at least like this in some kind of library designs that you can choose different agreement according to different classification and go and follow the process of building this agreement in very focused and well-documented manner. So you can see the different point of view of the participant. You can see how much support or objection every section of the document as a whole, every section received, and the agreement as a whole will receive. And by that, you can create some very well-documented source of knowledge to the community that can be used in the future. So this is the demo. And again, I'm sorry that I cannot invite you to join the experiment right now, but I very hope that in a few months we can begin really testing it in live version.
Looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
The thing is awesome, man. It's beautiful work.
Thank you. Any questions? Something that
we needed this like this morning, Phil.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why I've approached, like when Aaron first talked about this a few funds ago, it made so much sense that this needs to exist, and it's going to add, like as he develops it, it's going to add so much usability to the process. For me, the current user interface that I think Aaron's mentioned as well doesn't quite work for usability of the platform, but the functionality is definitely there, and with some usability improvements, I think it can easily be usable soon. I hope.
Yeah, exactly. This is why our proposal on the CA challenge is mainly to engage the community in the design process, because this is the time. Now we are starting the design. You see the very rough sketches. So we plan to do some co-design sessions. It's a format that Mills from the Social Design Academy has been building, also funded in Fund 5, I think. So this is part of what we are trying to do. And as I said, just listening to the start of your conversation, for me, it brought some insight that needed to be integrated into the design of the platform, and to do it in a very structured way can to make sure that the platform, the MVP version, will be the most useful for the CA use cases and for other parts of the community.
I'd also add in there that I did some experimentation with GitHub being the central space, but I feel that it has technological hurdles. That if you're completely, it has two hurdles. One, that you have to authenticate into GitHub, and if it's the only thing you're using GitHub for, it seems heavy-handed because of the large. What can be achieved in GitHub is amazing as a repository tool and a development tool, but as a place to just store documentation and get updates, it's very heavy to ask people to do pull requests and stuff that aren't in the technological space. And that's a platform like this will ease people, will allow engagement a lot higher, I feel, because it's more wiki-esque, let's say, where you're going in, it's natural to edit something, and then all it's doing is adding a layer over the top that it says once you've done your edit or your suggestion, it doesn't just get into the document that then is centralized of someone having to approve it. It's distributed that a group has to approve it. And that's the main change that's happening between Consenz and Google and Consenz and GitHub.
So let me ask just comprehension questions to make sure I have it. So if we were to put, let's use the CA assessment guide. Right now, that's a document that's owned. We all make comments on it. But ultimately, you would have a group that looks at that document, both from a document formation standpoint and from a governance standpoint of, we're agreeing that these are the, I don't want to use heavy language. This is we agree is the best practice, and we could all contribute to that. But you also could do things like create consensus on from the circle perspective. You could do the decision making about election, to your example, about election standards, and have people come in and vote on it from a decision making standpoint rather than a document creation standpoint.
This can be another use case, and there is some kind of flexibility in the platform. There will be a kind of flexibility on the spectrum of decentralization, because decentralization is a spectrum. Let's admit it. It's not a binary centralized or decentralized. And this voting mechanism in Consenz we can adjust it for the different need of different communities and different groups. It's legitimacy for some group to decide that it needed to be more professional, it needed more reputation, or something like this. It want to be more centralized or more controlled, so they still can get the voting input and the other comment from the community and different improvement suggestion to the document, but still there is more influence by some group or some admin in the voting system. As long as it is completely transparent, I think this kind of flexibility is good for the community, and just to keep it transparent and fair, and it can be a very versatile tool for different needs.
I think the promise of it as well is that you can create different documents for different purposes with different user bases, right? So the circle could have permission to edit it, or they could assign permission to just editors, but then the community can vote on it. Or they can make a document that the community makes a document, but only the circle could vote on it. Like you can start to play with all sorts of different mechanisms of assigning levels of usability. So some documents, like the CA document, could just be open to everyone, but maybe in the future will have to be closed because you get randoms coming in from outside, and then you eventually you can authenticate with a DID and ensure that someone is a CA before they can edit it, that sort of stuff, right? But it's got this amazing dynamic. Not now, and maybe not in the first iteration, but in future iterations, it can easily expand out to just be this amazing consensus writing document with various inputs and outputs and yeah, and a mix of whatever it is, depending on what document you're trying to write and who you want to vote on it.
So Scott, then we would create documents related to certain initiatives, and then they could be talked about. And so I'm just trying to think about flow of information. Maybe we all recognize there's an issue. We need to, talk about how to make pancakes. And then the conversation comes in here. We get a group together. We're all talking about how to make pancakes. Then we decide we need to write the instructions and the best way to make pancakes, and we go to Consenz to do that. Then we all vote on whether or not that's the best thing, and simultaneously we have the GitHub repository where that document is linked to, and anything else related to that also is in it. Where is there a redundancy here as far as the project workflow? And I'm looking to everyone else in the group to help me sort of work through how things are being set up so that we can get a sense of how we can. I think this is a fantastic project. I personally think it should be well supported, and also really thinking about how we're trying to make things as streamlined as possible. So how we have it sort of interface.
I think it'll work perfect, honestly. I haven't showed it yet, and I don't know how many people are familiar with it. With the dwork platform, I think it'd be great because you can bring that platform. You can determine what are the pressing issues within the community. For instance, like vCA requirements and then those issues can be brought forward, discussed, assigned a particular, to use your terminology, not a champion, or basically or a steward of that particular issue. And then once there's some sort of consensus on, my understanding from what Aaron presented, so once there's a consensus on how do we approach it, what documents, then we bring that in to whoever the champion is. They bring that document that needs to be remodeled into Aaron's platform, into Consenz, and then I'm assuming, I didn't really see, but there can be edits or comments made on it and adjustments made to that document. And then the finalization is done and then voted on. Not done, but it's voted on to determine whether or not how much broad support there is for it. I guess and then I don't know if Aaron has any type of hook or anything to GitHub. I don't think I remember hearing anything about that to where the issue can be tied into GitHub somehow.
Integration with other platforms is part of our roadmap. It won't be in the MVP, but it is a part of our plan. And we think GitHub it should be. It doesn't think that it is not something that I thought about it before this meeting, and I understand that some kind of an API integration or other bridge, content bridge between Consenz and GitHub can be very useful as well. Our main focus until now was on the social media platform. How we can cultivate discussions that now are not structured in different Discord servers, in Telegram group and other platform, and take the relevant knowledge from there to the structured and focused discussion in Consenz. We can do it manually, or at least for the minimum viable product. We can put some moderators or some kind of ambassadors in different channels to identify the places where participants in the discussion raise solutions that can be then finalized using Consenz and migrate them into the platform, but also to create some kind of automation for that, some bots or other tools that can be useful for this. And GitHub, I assume, I'm not completely sure about it, but I assume that there is some API or other tooling that can be used to create this cross-platforms content management. And then we need to design and exactly like Nadia asked before, to avoid redundancy, to identify exactly what are the benefits that GitHub brings that the other platform does not, and then to be very focused on how we create this cross-platform content management.
I think what Phil said too, I don't want to discount what Phil said about GitHub. GitHub is a technical challenge for many people. And I think the part with GitHub, I understand its capabilities. I probably don't understand its full capabilities, but I think it's a great place to have as a reference for open issues and closed issues. And then anybody in the community, they don't have to be technically savvy to just look at GitHub and look at the issues that are open or closed that have been accomplished. But I haven't. I love Aaron. I love your platform. I think it's great, especially like the voting part on it. I think that pushes it above all others. And as far as I'm not working on the GitHub side. I'm kind of working on the integrations, I guess, obviously, my integrations are with Discord, so where Discord can be a notification, and hopefully in the future you can actually submit issues through Discord to the various platforms. Of course, I don't know the integration technicalities on that, the scope of the process that involves. But I mean, yeah. If you're asking, I think Aaron's platform will work as part of the workflow and the integrations. I mean, yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Do you use Slack? Somebody in the community use Slack? It's something that I haven't.
I think some of the circle. I think it's more of an internal chat. I think it's more. I use it myself
because Slack does integrate very beautiful with GitHub and with Google Docs. So every new commit, every new pull request, every new comment on an issue is notified. It can pop notification in the Slack channel. But Slack is it's a closed system, I think, compared to Discord. So I'm not sure it's suitable for this purpose.
I think more of the community used Discord. I actually did attempt to start a Slack way back like a year and a bit ago as well. But did not get the same traction, and then just decided to send everyone to Discord because it was a better platform. I think Slack's good for the people who are in the dev community as well, or in the corporate community. That seems to be the use case of Slack more than Discord, whereas Discord seems to be based on gamer community, which are more loose form, and now building community-based tooling. And I feel like that's just where the communities are falling at the moment.
It would be interesting for you as you develop it. I'm sure that because you have this great governance component built in, and I think there would be openness. I'm speaking out of turn. I have no idea, but my gut level is that it would be an interesting thing to have that conversation with the circle and sub-circle, because certainly if you're going to have it integrate, that's a great use case to try. And you're a Catalyst project, so it would be cool to see. It's well used for the circle. Like it's a everyone's on there and using it. So it would certainly be something where it's not too large of a group. It's a nice size to test with, and there's the GitHub integration and the Google Docs integration right now with Slack in that group as well. So I think you could find a good sort of test area there as well. Eventually, when you're at the point where you want to do that.